When you think about your biggest expense in retirement, what comes to mind? Healthcare, housing? For many retirees, it's actually taxes. And if you are not careful, taxes can significantly impact your retirement savings. Joining us to discuss strategies to help you keep more of your money are Laurel and Taylor Steward from Mattson Financial Services, our sponsor and expert. They've been helping West Michigan residents retire successfully for decades. You may also know them from their radio show, Money Mentors. And so, how big of an issue are taxes for retirees? It seems we talk about it an awful lot.
We do.
Yeah, taxes is a big buzzword around the office. It's thrown around a lot. The reality is it can be a huge impact. I think when most people come in and they sit down, their biggest concern is not running out of money. Yeah. And number two is, how are we going to afford health care? Well, your health care is, as long as you're pre-65, totally dictated by your income, which then is obviously that taxable piece there. So if we can manipulate that because we've set things up properly, we can save money on taxes and on healthcare. So those two things are directly related, and I think it's largely overlooked just by how we're taught to save in our working years, and that's what we're trying to help people with, and especially when I'm meeting with clients, talking to them about, hey, your kids, your grandkids, have them come in. Let's sit down and talk and start this accumulation plan for them so we can make sure that they're saving in the right spots.
Yeah, so while they're often overlooked, why is it that taxes do become such a big expense in retirement?
Yeah, because traditionally we're all saving in a 401k. And now we've got a little bit of the Roth, that's come to play, which is great. But traditionally, up until this point, not really. It was all traditional 401k. So you're putting money away, you're saving, and you think, great, I have $1 million, I'm ready to retire, let's start taking money. Okay, well, your $5,000 that you need every month to spend is actually going to be $7,000 maybe that you need to take out, because you need to add in what is the taxable amount that's going to the government, right? And also you've got federal, you've got your state and your local, but then also if you take from those accounts too early, you could have penalties, right? Prior 59.5, a 10% penalty. So that's an additional 10% on top. So it's really like anywhere you look when it starts to being retirement, healthcare, Social Security, all of that with income is dictated by taxes. And for some reason, people don't talk about it that way, but we need to.
Yeah, so how can retirees really lower their tax burden? Are there strategies that you put into place to help them?
Yeah, and that's a part of our process that we're talking with for everybody, right? Yeah. Now, sometimes, depending on certain client situations, it's more attractive than others. So it's all completely tailored to that unique individual or those clients and what they're trying to achieve. But things like, let's say we've got $15,000 in our tax bracket before we go from the 12 to 22. Well, we pull that $15,000 out, pay taxes on it now it grows tax-free forever. We're starting to get that money out at a lower tax rate versus RMDs kick in, and now you're in the 22% tax bracket regardless, right? And you may not need the money. And if you don't take it, 25% penalty. So things like, again, Roth conversions, saving in the right buckets today, and also if we've got after-tax accounts, looking at tax loss harvesting or different types of investments that are more tax efficient based on the taxability of that money when we pull it out.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of those high net worth individuals. How does tax planning differ for them?
I think a big thing too is, going back to the plan of what kind of income do you have coming in, and a lot of times because certain things are taken care of, they don't need the money from the required minimum distributions. So we can look at things to say, well, you're required to take it out still, but maybe we can do some qualified charitable distributions, QCDs, right? So you tithe to things or you give to different, charities, and that way it's a benefit for you and them.
Yeah, Roth conversions, again, I just talked about that as another bigger one is, they pull off plenty of income each month. They're very comfortable, but their portfolio continues to grow and grow and grow. And if, again, once we get to RMD age, that amount could be so substantial that we may want to get more aggressive on the front end and do these conversions because we don't know what 10 or 15 years down the road those tax brackets are going to look like. We know what they are today, but let's say they're 10% higher and your account balance is, even higher than what we had projected. That's a huge, huge tax problem. So again, looking at things like conversions, where are we putting the money away? That's a great strategy. QCDs, people are given to charities and churches every week. Yeah. Why not do it and have that satisfy a portion of your RMD or reduce that qualified balance and get that tax benefit? That's what it's there there for.
Yeah. What about successful W-2 employees? How do they actually minimize their taxes in retirement?
Well, working with the CPA, the biggest thing is, well, put it all away pre-tax, because you can put over $30,000 away, and that'll come off your W-2, and that's true. But then all of a sudden, you have this big pre-tax bucket of money coming back to retirement, RMDs, and all these things. So there's a happy medium, and it's not something that, hey, we're going to do this today. It's going to be the same thing for the next 10 years. Every single year, I'm reviewing this stuff with my clients, with their CPAs, making sure that we're dotting the I's and crossing the T's and saving tax money anywhere we can.
Yeah.
And you can look at, too, those different strategies if you are still working. Like, is there a Roth portion available? Don't just go at it blindly, but that's where, you can call us. We'll help you navigate through and get you set up to say what is the best avenue moving forward.
What are the first steps for people at home to take in putting together a good tax-efficient plan?
Definitely don't Google any of it, right? Because there's so much there. But, we're that resource to really help you. We offer it complimentary for you to get to know our team, our fiduciary advisors, because this is our passion, and we want to help get this word out there that when you think retirement, you have to have a tax strategy in place. And so you can be one of those first 5 callers. If you've saved $250,000, let's have a conversation. We'll start with that, see where you're at, and how do we create this enhanced retirement plan for you that focuses on taxes.
Nice. So for you at home, take advantage of that special offer from Mattson Financial Services. If you're ready to spring into retirement with a plan that's built for success, Laurel, Taylor, and the rest of the team will sit down with you personally to customize an enhanced retirement plan just for you. This is a comprehensive plan that includes a look at your investments, your income sources, taxes, and so much more to help you get to and through the retirement you deserve. So reserve one of those spots now. Call 800-536-8907. And don't wait, because the spots fill up quickly. So thanks, guys, for coming by. We really appreciate it.
I love talking taxes.
Thank you.
It's great.
I know you do. We could talk all day. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
This segment is sponsored by Mattson Financial Services. We'll be right back.